Now that I work in a bookshop, I find myself wanting to read more and more. Not only that, but I also find myself wanting to read books that I probably wouldn't have picked up otherwise, which, now I've said it out loud, sounds like a really obvious inevitability. But as with movies, when I finish a book, I find myself really wanting to talk about it. Problem is, none of my friends have read the book that I've just finished, so I'm a bit stuck with who I can talk to, so I thought, if only there was a place where I could say what I thought about the book and let other people know what I think, and then they could comment back to me. I recently finished a book. The book was this book, The Deaths by Mark Lawson. This is described as a combination of ingenious plotting and forensic social comedy, a dark and brilliant novel of life in the 21st century. Right up my street, I thought. I'll breeze right through it, I thought. I thought wrong. The story basically follows 4 upper middle class, very wealthy couples as they live, and then one of them as they die. That's not a spoiler, by the way. The deaths of the title are discovered in the very first chapter, and in a very sneaky narrative device, are kind of uncovered as the novel goes on in between long chapters which have flashbacks to what happened up to the deaths. I say very sneaky because these death-uncovering DCI-esque chapters are the only interesting parts of the early novel. They're just interesting enough to make you want to keep reading through the very long and ultimately lacking in-betweeny chapters. The flashbacks, where we learn about the characters, their backstories, and their obnoxious personalities, are just the most base-level satire that I felt the author hadn't really put any effort in. It was almost as if, in the name of research, all he'd done was buy a first-class ticket from London to Manchester, sat on the train, saw 3 or 4 rich bankers and gone, yep, they can be in the book. It's just... Society is ripe for the picking in terms of satirical humour, but it should take a lot more effort than just looking around you, seeing what you think is a bit funny, plonking it down on the page and giving it a slightly different name. And that's all I feel like he's really doing. If it weren't for the fact that I was genuinely curious to see which of the couples were victims of the death and how they met their grisly end, I probably would have consigned this book to receive the Twilight treatment. That's a term coined when I read the Twilight books to try and get an informed opinion, got 4 chapters into the first one, so annoyed at it I threw it out of the window into the waiting wheelie bin. No word of a lie. It took about this much of the book for me to be interested in the characters, and about this much for me to be genuinely engrossed in the story. And in a 480-page book, that is just not acceptable. Also, just a quick note, this wasn't because the characters were unlikable or because I felt them not similar to me. I'm a big believer in the fact that you don't need a character to be relatable or likable in order to enjoy the story, as long as their journey creates a strong enough emotion in you to make you want to continue with them. That's fine. The problem here wasn't that they were unlikable, it was that they were unremarkable. You want to invest in characters straight away so that you want to go on the journey with them and see how their story unfolds. The problem with this lot is that they were just there. And that indifference left a big old black mark on this book for me. When the book actually gets going, it's a really good character study, and it really does have some interesting thoughts on the human psyche and the way our surroundings can dictate our behaviour. It just took so long to get there that I find myself not thinking, wow, what a great novel, but longing for what this novel had the potential to be. That was kind of fun. If you've read this book, amazing, good job. Let me know what you thought in the comments. If you've read a book that you think is kind of similar to it, and you have strong opinions about that one, share those thoughts as well. And if you like this video, and you want to see more of this kind of thing from me in the future, then let me know that as well. Until next time, I shall see you soon. I've been Daniel J. Layton, book reviewer. It's not quite as snappy, is it?